welcome to the listeners, welcome viewers. It's to the point. It's Monday, the 27th day of July, of course, within the year 2026. Good morning to those of our social media platforms. Good morning to you, wherever you're listening and viewing us from. Good morning. Certainly hope all is well with everyone. Let me say good morning to, of course, my host with us this morning. Not my host, but of course, my fellow host, if I could say it in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
co-host,
nice.
If you want to say it in that way.
Yes.
Of course, we have Mr. McPhail with us this morning and Mr. McIntyre. Gentlemen, good morning, and how you doing? Hope you all had a great weekend, and welcome to another edition.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to your listeners and viewers.
And let me say good morning to all our viewers, listeners, followers, and more than that, the contributors to this program.
Yes,
I have to give them a big up for that, and all those who've been sending the flowers and silently.
Been planting them or watering them too?
Yes, some people have been doing that. And so I've been breaking them and passing it on to us for the program, which is good. So all of you who are locked in this morning, it's always our pleasure to be here on Monday. We look forward to it. And I'm sure those of you who are following and listening as well, you have been looking forward to it based on the feedback that we're getting.
Yeah. Well, we just wrapped up another weekend in this YSL. We had the, of course, the semi-finals for the Calypso competition.
Oh, yeah.
That was last evening.
Right.
I want to congratulate all who have made it to the finals.
Yep.
I guess folks are looking forward to when that comes around.
Yeah.
GT, I want to go a step further.
Yeah.
Because we had 3 sets of semi-finals for the weekend.
Yeah, but I was more focused on the weekend.
On the weekend.
The weekend.
It was Thursday, Friday.
Friday's
then
weekend,
Saturday
right?
we had that.
Technically.
Yeah. Friday's the weekend.
Is that stretch weekend?
So we had the groovy, the power soca, and the calypso.
Yes.
And I think those 3 nights were well executed.
Yes.
By the corporation, well organized and well executed.
Well, I think last program, last Monday, we also mentioned and gave flowers to Spice Mass Corporation.
Yes.
For I think there's a sense of new energy within the corporation, and we really need to give them flowers for that, and they need to maintain it.
I mean, hearing folks talking about that, even the Children's Carnival Frolic on Saturday, folks like the organizational part of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's always room for improvement.
Right.
There's always room for improvement. You're always not going to get everything rolling or sailing smooth as you would like it to, but in all well and good, it was properly it functioned nicely on Saturday. From what the indication I didn't get to attend, but from indication that I picked up from an individual who did attend, it was. And
you don't have a child or children that participate in Kids Carnival.
I didn't.
All the children are grown.
But as you mentioned,
I have some youngsters who just seem not interested in that for some reason.
Okay.
They're not interested.
As you mentioned, Children's Carnival Frolic.
Yeah.
I want to give flowers to the Angel Harps Junior Pan.
Oh, they won the Junior Pan.
They won the congratulations as well.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I mean, for these children to learn a tune and execute so well in 3 months, May, June, July, and win the competition. Congratulations.
So Pan is alive.
Pan is alive.
And will stay alive.
And there's a future.
There's a future. Oh, great.
Congratulations.
So with all of that, though, on the flip side of things, in terms of flowers, it's one of the things that we want to see. I've not been to any of the events, as a matter of fact, but I've heard people speak about time and the respect for time, and I think we have to improve on that, and allow some time between activities when you have them. We believe that those fillers can come in a bit more.
But I've been hearing, especially for the semi-finals competition, I think it did start on time.
Yes.
So give kudos to Spice Mass Corporation for getting it started on time.
Mm-hmm. And for the results.
And the results were able to get the results on the night.
Oh yeah, that has to be commended.
Yep. Most times you'll wait till the next day and stuff, but to get it on the night.
On the night is excellent.
That's good.
Right. So we wish that trend could keep up, could continue. I think there was a comment coming back from the Kiddies Carnival between the mass pageant sort of a thing and then the bands competition and the big lull between them and so on. Okay. Those kind of a little things sometimes, puts a little break on stuff, but administratively you log these things down. I think when you engage the public, letting them know what the challenges are when things are happening, that is always very good to happen. But once again, I think overall you have to give some flowers to the organizing entities.
For the Children's Carnival Frolic, I'm not sure if road users, motorists didn't get the information or if it was thrown out in a timely manner in terms of, because we had that congestion in terms of traffic in the town of St. George.
Yes.
On Saturday, and I'm not sure if folks didn't know. Well, it's Children's Carnival Frolic today, so maybe or some. But I think maybe a better coordination of the traffic at time, or maybe something have to be done because. folks will drive their vehicles.
Yes.
And some of the major way to get you in and out of Stone of St. George, sometimes it could be difficult for drivers.
So that is one
folks who do not want to use the cemetery for various reasons.
Okay.
You understand?
That was blocked off.
That was closed off at a particular time. I think sometimes
it's always an emergency route when you're having major events.
You know, and then folks who decide they were waiting behind the of course, some of the vans with the trucks and stuff, who decide that created another congestion there for a bit. You understand? Because for some reason they were moving a bit slow to get to the stadium. You know, I think that could be worked on.
I think some of the persons in the society did not know. Because normally it's the week before Carnival. You know, Saturday was actually 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right? So two aspects of what you both speaking about, and one of it has driven the conversation for this morning in terms of road safety, road traffic, and the awareness. I think the information process, Kiddies Carnival seem to have sprung on people to a large extent, even if it.
I like the participation. You know,
a lot more should have been done. Folks are participating, but I think the information platform, I think, regardless of how much they did, more could have been done in terms of putting things up, saying things are wrong, announcing it a bit more, beating it up a bit more. You know, it has two advantages. One, you get more participation. People become aware, especially as you mentioned, the traffic build-up. If you understand things are happening in particular ways or places, you would want to avoid.
You will avoid.
And it's one of the things we want to be able to advocate for. It lends itself to road safety. And if the information process is enhanced, it's happening more frequently, then we know that some things could happen better.
You know, and I would tap in on this and saying, in some of the traffic diversions, there was no one there to assist or man the traffic sometimes. That's what an observation I understand. Yes, you know, as I say, sometimes we don't read this, even though the sign will say no through. I think some of these areas need to be manned for some reason.
Either physically policed by
warden or something that can assist. Because I see areas where they are saying no through traffic, individual was still going through.
Yes,
I understand, and no, they've now caused the problem.
So, GT, I don't want to convince myself that we are lawless, but I've been hearing it so often that we are lawless. There are signs that are posted that says no entry, one way, and people are still bypassing it.
Probably didn't see the no for some reason.
I like what you just said.
So it's written smaller than
I guess the no is smaller, so the entry is bigger, so they think you can go through.
Yes, but the point is that is lending itself to so much chaos, and you will never have enough police to man every sign and diversion. So I believe one of the solutions to that is that the police and the wardens and the information process enhanced could make people aware that these violations are taking place in some places. And again, it goes back to the penalty, not the level of the penalty, but the amount of time people are ticketed or otherwise are charged for the offences.
But I saw think those things should happen 6 to 7 police in the Melville Street area.
Yeah.
And roads like the top of Church Street, top of Cemetery Hill, there was no one there. And I don't think 6 or 7 officers were needed on Melville Street at the time.
Okay.
If you get my direction,
yes.
I think one individual could have controlled that segment there. They could be scattered around a little bit more.
Yeah.
You see in three officers, one spot. You understand? It's like 3 of them is not needed to conduct that, to take care of that whole area there, in my opinion.
And do you know from prior internal information that very often the 7 that you may see converging in one area were not sent to be in that area.
Yeah.
They happen by reason of whether Magnet or their friends in that area, they move over and they could end up in the same area. I've seen it so many times because I've been on the other end of it where people say, and you find out. But this, police are given what you call beats to patrol or areas that they need to function. And some of them, they cross over into other function because something might be happening there, and if other partners might be on that, they end up there and don't understand that your presence there feels as though that area is overloaded and the other area isn't.
I understand.
And so yes, it lends itself to.
Sometimes we just observe these things, and I think they didn't all need to be there. They could have been scattered to other areas and
I know sometimes they don't see that themselves.
Have a smoother
they
flow.
wander into those areas and don't realize the image they're creating to the public and the presence and so on, what it means. So it's a bigger picture of situational awareness and people becoming more involved in what they do. So today's conversation, after we come back, are we going to speak about hinges a lot on as we start speaking about the flowers for over the weekend for all of the activities held, etc. We realize still that there are quite a number of different traffic violations and accidents that are occurring. So as part of our responsibility today, we'll be really wanting to zero in on the information process, heightening the awareness, keep reminding people of the safety factors during the rest of the festive season.
All right, so let's take that break. When we come back, we certainly get into that conversation. Stay with us, folks. To the point, Classic Radio GBN TV. We will be right back. Don't touch it out.
Our people know you. Come experience the spirit, strength, and beauty of Carriacou. Join us for the Carriacou Regatta Festival 2026, happening July 31st to August 2nd. Feel the excitement of thrilling boat races across our crystal clear water. Enjoy vibrant onshore activity, music, food, and pure vibe. This is more than a festival. It's resilience, culture, and unforgettable memories, all in one place. So, gather your crew, bring your energy, and come sail into the celebration. Carriacou Regatta Festival 2026, anchored in tradition, sailing to tomorrow, to tomorrow, to tomorrow, to tomorrow.
August 1st is coming, and Grenville is about to transform with activities in observance of Emancipation Day 2026.
Under the theme, proudly claiming our land, our culture, our identity.
Start your day with flavor from 6 a.m. with breakfast at the Grenville Car Park. Then at 2 p.m., the energy moves to the bus terminal for a massive community exhibition.
Come see, come buy, come support. As the sun sets, the real magic begins at 5:30 p.m. with the Flambeau March from Subi Fisher Facility onward to the Grenville Bus Terminal.
Then at 8 p.m. is the formal ceremony with brief speeches, followed by cultural activities from 8:30 p.m. featuring drumming like you've never heard before.
Dance that moves the soul, a live band that keeps the vibe alive, and special performances by local artists and groups you won't forget.
From breakfast to midnight, it's all happening at the Grenville Bus Terminal. Saturday, August 1st. Don't be late. Emancipation Day 2026. Proudly claiming our land, our culture, our identity.
This event is hosted by the National Celebrations Committee in collaboration with SEDU.
Parents, do you go to bed with the knowledge that your children are comfortably asleep in the next room? Or are they allowed to attend every fete advertised? You are responsible for the safety and well-being of your children, and it is your responsibility to know their whereabouts. Children should not be at adult events. Please guide your children, engage them in age-appropriate activities. Let us be spicy parents for this carnival season and beyond. S. Speak to your children about positive behavior. P. Pay attention to them at all times. I. Inspire good behavior in your children by also displaying good behavior. C. Check with your children. Always know their whereabouts. Y. You are responsible for your children. Maintain control to keep them safe. This is a message from the National Parenting Program, Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
Welcome back once again to the listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to the point. Classic Radio GBN TV. Gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to get into a substantive bit of the conversation this morning. Yes. As you know, we didn't mention before the break we into the season now, where we're going to see a lot of folks driving on our nation's roads.
Yes.
Minimal use of that drew care and attention, if I could say it in that way. Minimal use of it. Even though they know they can do what they have to do, some folks may just be that we ain't doing that. Saying it in regular conversation this morning. How are we going to get through to that conversation to this morning? Let's break the ice to this.
Yeah, sure. So we are well into the festive season, and we started this conversation long before we got into it because we saw what was coming. We've been living here for a while. We understand what is the Spice Mass season, what is Carnival, and so forth. And it started with the jab launch, the launch of Spice Mass Carnival 2026. Yes, 2026. And from the time it is launched, there are certain behaviors that people indulge themselves in. And they say there's 100 and something thousand jab in Grenada. I don't know if two of you are part of that number. But that kind of a behavior goes across country, and it has been a concern for a lot of people. Albeit though, 2026, in my observation, I think those activities have been controlled slightly different to last year. Yes. I think with the community jab launch and so on, people are concentrated in particular areas. But you've seen the pockets of them on the streets, and the concern for road safety has been echoed a lot by many persons in terms of how they converge on the road space, the nudity and the activities that they're involving that's creating a different kind of an image sometimes for our younger population, our children, etc. And the substance that is being used to cover the skin, and it dropping on the road surface, that is a concern. So we've looked at that. In addition to that, we've been following the status of accidents. I don't know if the police themselves have been doing the statistics in terms of the cause of the events, but what we found is that over the weekend that there are seemingly more accidents. And you would believe and you should think that on weekends there should be less accidents, because there should be less vehicles technically on the road because you don't have so many persons going to work over the weekend. So there should be. So we look deep into that to figure out what could be the root cause. Additionally, our assessment found that as the tradition has shown, festive season do have an increase in accidents and in crime. The police are doing a phenomenal job, I would say, in terms of now the information relative to crime. They do have something like a crime ad sort of going on mornings, and then they have the traffic report that comes in with Sergeant Troy, and other aspects of the promo with advising people to be safe. But the root and the foundation thing is, what different should people be doing around this time of the year to curb the amount of accidents that, in our opinion, could be avoided? And so we are driven by these occurrences to advise people to continue to advocate for road safety across our roads. And this morning we would invite callers to contribute towards that in terms of some of the things that they're seeing across country and how we can curb it. But the real concern is the accidents in some places across country, and in particular over the weekend. So we would want to be able to drive people's awareness. We would want people to get more involved in the campaign. And I think our media houses have a good stake to play in that, in terms of getting more information across. And I think we need to be able to build the information process. I believe personally that our media houses become too quiet on weekends. Our programs become a little bit too stereotyped on weekends, that there don't seem to be a lot of engagement of people and information on weekends.
I agree.
I could be corrected. I stand corrected on that. And I think the media and other things, you are so much in people's faces during the course of the week. Maybe it's one of the reasons why people are more conscious. And also on the weekend, when there could be more involvement in activities, people are drinking and fetting, and
we have that kind of laid back.
May have that kind of laid back kind of a approach to things. So I am believing that one intervention strongly by the law enforcement and by our media houses, and in some instances corporate Grenada citizens in some way, should increase the information and the awareness programs across weekends. And during the festive season, I think Spice Mass Corporation and other entities should make it part of their programs to have safety tips sounded more, played more around this time, advising people more on what they should do.
I agree.
And because jab is the thing that we are advertised globally for, visitors are coming to our shows, and all they're coming is to just throw oil on their skin and get on differently.
And get that photo up.
And get that photo up across. Yeah. And so the awareness in terms of what you should do and how you should do it seems to not be so much in their face. Yeah. Prove me wrong, persons who are following the program and listening, that we are doing sufficient to make them aware of our safety concerns. Because while most people may not be involved in an accident, or in accidents, they contribute to it.
Yeah.
So the vehicles may not hit, but the way they drive, conscious drivers veer off, do other things, and then you run off the road and you get in an accident and those vehicles move out. Mm-hmm. So I'm believing, and I'm suggesting, and we're going to hit on it, both of you, we're going to chime in on it, in some of the safety measures we would want to see employed a bit more, and some of the places and things we can do a bit more to encourage people to be more safe around this time of the year. Yeah.
I could think of, in relation, you speak about the jab a lot. Something I'm concerned about, I think the police could look into, is where these events are hosted, especially events along the roadside.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of roadside bars and shops that's in close proximity to the roads, and they've been hosting these events, whether it's for job or whatever they want to have. Mm-hmm. And then you think about the level of the obstruction that it causes.
Right.
You understand? And the influence of individuals drinking the alcohol and stuff at these events and driving after attending these events. And I think something that the police can look into in terms of having that conversation with the host, that it may not be the appropriate place to host these events.
Okay. Yes.
You understand? Because I was looking at one last night, and it's a bad place to host an event.
Okay.
Because of the constant movement of traffic along that particular part of the road, individuals not wanting to move because they feel they're partying and having a good time. They don't want to move. Their drinking bottles are broken, because I think also folks are selling drinks in the bottles.
Yes.
And folks are just, when you get to an intoxicated state, you just throw that on the side. They get broken, or vehicles passing, the tires may roll over that bottle, it gets smashed, and all of these things. So maybe the police can look into that in terms of where they see these events are being hosted, or whoever is hosting that event. Maybe a conversation needs to be had with them saying, hey, it may not be appropriate for you to do so, because of the influence that it happened in terms of road offences at the same time.
Yeah. I must say, along the Grandance Main Road in the area of the Stones, there seems to be a lot more control this year than say last year.
I saw that.
That's commendable.
Yeah.
There's another area.
I noticed it's more of a control.
There's another area in the south where it's difficult to drive through.
What about Snow Corner? Snow Corner is not in the south, but Snow Corner is mid between here.
Yes, and that's Main Road.
Yeah.
River Road has now taken over on Sundays.
So Snow Corner.
Well, in the River Road area now, on Sundays, it's becoming a problem there.
But maybe we could find out for the police, do people complain about the amount of obstruction? Because remember one time the jobs used to be even pulling the chains during those time, and they were soliciting money from people.
They hosted it for the last 3 weeks. The first week they had the jab, which was very bad the morning. I'm an early morning walker, and it was really bad in terms of the oil and stuff on the road, which was bad for drivers. Also, well, they have ceased from the oil more or less for the last 2 Sundays, but in terms of the major obstruction that it causes now for the flow of traffic, even though they're not having the jab aspect of it anymore with the whole oil and stuff, but the obstruction in terms of the flow of traffic is becoming a problem.
With the amount of vehicles that we have, you're right, that we believe that more control. As a matter of fact, we believe that I don't know if the RGPF has increased its police presence as well activities, because permission has to be granted in a lot of instances for some areas. And one of the areas of weakness that we identified was permission granted and surveys not fully undertaken in terms of is it appropriate.
All right. Gentlemen, we drew for a break. Let's just take that break and we'll be right back. Stay with us, folks, to the Point Classic Radio GBN TV. We come in right back. Don't touch your dial.
Life doesn't stand still. It moves. It grows. It asks you to believe in what's next. Your first car. owning your home. The business you build. The future you choose to invest in. Life moves in steps. When you're ready to take the next one, we're here to help you move forward with banking solutions designed for life. From vehicle financing and mortgages to education savings, credit solutions, and support for your growing business. Republic Bank, ready for life, every step.
GBN presents Spice Up the Esplanade Mall Courtyard Soca Mona. Free, exciting Wednesdays of electrifying soca action. It kicks off with the quarterfinal Wednesday, July the 22nd from 3 to 7:30 p.m. The semifinals Wednesday, July the 29th from 3 to 7:30 p.m. The grand finals on Wednesday, August the 5th from 4 to 8 p.m. where champions are born and legends rise. Powered by Flow, Huggins, Amsa Coatings, Glen Natural Spring Water, Grenada Distillers, Tropical Catering Services, Ride Girl, Sandals Grenada, Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, National Lotteries Authority, Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, and SP's International Trading, with support from Spice Mass Corporation, Grenada Film Company, and Jambalassi Grenada. 3 Wednesdays, 1 stage, 1 vibes. Don't miss GBN Spice Up the Esplanade Mall Courtyard Soca Mona.
Grenada, are you ready for the most epic cool down after Spice Mass? Because on Wednesday, August 12th, the Grenada National Cricket Stadium becomes the home of one massive soca experience. Carnival Encore, Sunset Over White.
Are you ready?
Featuring not one, but 2 international soca giants, Marshall Montano and the Monk Band. Yes, the band. And they'll be joined by some of Grenada's biggest soca superstars for one unforgettable night of music, vibes, and pure island energy. This is the event that keeps the carnival spirit alive. The final celebration. The Encore. You don't want to miss. General admission and VIP early bird tickets are sold out online. General admission $150. VIP $550. Get your tickets now at gotofed.com and the official Sunshine Promotions outlets. Carnival Encore 2026. Sunset Over White. Wednesday, August 12th at the National Cricket Stadium. When the road ends, this is the Encore. Emancipation Weekend, freedom takes the seat. The Media Workers Association of Grenada invites you aboard Unscripted. Unscripted, the Freedom Edition. Friday, July 31st. Step into an unforgettable night of music, vibes, culture, and connection aboard the ultimate summer cruise experience. Meet your favorite media personalities, party under the stars, and celebrate freedom the unscripted way aboard the Ecstasy. Boarding is at 7 p.m., sailing at 8 p.m. Dress code Freedom Chic. Bold, stylish, unapologetically you. Tickets are limited and going fast. Get your tickets online at GoToFed and at recognized ticket outlets. Unscripted, the Freedom Edition, because the best stories are the ones you never planned.
August 1st is coming, and Grenville is about to transform with activities in observance of Emancipation Day 2026.
Under the theme, proudly claiming our land, our culture, our identity.
Start your day with flavor from 6 a.m. with breakfast at the Grenville Car Park. Then at 2 p.m., the energy moves to the bus terminal for a massive community exhibition.
Come see, come buy, come support. As the sun sets, the real magic begins at 5:30 p.m. with the Flambeau March from Subi Fisher Facility onward to the Grenville Bus Terminal.
Then at 8 p.m. is the formal ceremony with brief speeches, followed by cultural activities from 8:30 p.m. featuring drumming like you've never heard before.
Dance that moves the soul. A live band that keeps the vibe alive. And special performances by local artists and groups you won't forget.
From breakfast to midnight, it's all happening at the Grenville Bus Terminal. Saturday, August 1st. Don't be late. Emancipation Day 2026. Proudly claiming our land, our culture, our identity.
This event is hosted by the National Celebrations Committee in collaboration with SEDU.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers, folks. So, of course, we want to apologize for that. A bit of an extended break this morning. But, of course, sometimes things happen. Gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. We get back into our substantive conversation this morning in terms of, road offenses, as we were talking about. I go back to you, Mr. McIntyre, so you can continue on that.
Yeah, so there are a couple of issues that we raised before the extended break, which will be under our control technically. But the issue is that we highlight that over the weekend and during the festive season that more road accidents are happening, and what we want to do is to heighten the awareness, and we believe that there should be an expanded information process to the wider public, and especially those who are masqueraders, those who have to work during those period of time, the extra caution that should be undertaken. And here we would be inviting maybe members of the public, when we open the lines just now, to make their suggestions as to some things that they are observing, they're seeing, and to how we can enhance that. But generally, what we wanted to say to the motoring public and even some pedestrians, that people's behavior will be different around this time of the year.
Yes.
Absolutely. And some people refer to it as the stupid period, when people behave outside of their norm. They dress differently, they drink and behave differently, and they even drive differently. And sometimes, unfortunately, people end up with serious injuries and fatalities. But we believe all of those could be minimized.
Why should that be, Mr. McIntyre?
Well, because...
If I could play a little devil advocate for them, why should that be? Why should folks have to behave in that particular way? Because we are, as you mentioned, the silly season.
Yes.
Why should we have it? Why should it be
call it
like
silly? Yeah. Because I think humans will be humans anywhere you take it that once they're exposed to certain things, the behavior, and that is why there's the whole aspect, not necessarily of the whip, because the whip brings a different kind of a cover on how you treat humans and other things. But human beings, there are two sides. There's good always and bad, whether you want it or not. And there are people who behave in a particular way and others who would not behave in a... There are people who will be wise and there are other people who will be otherwise. So you want to be able to put mechanism to be able to control that. And there are followers and there are leaders. Yeah. So here what? The leaders of the process has to put things in place to ensure that people should do what they have to do. And there are some people's thinking that might be flawed, might be different to others, and at a particular time there are persons, by reason of their construct, whether biological or otherwise, could be more susceptible and vulnerable to some activities.
But
there are some people...
That's not helping on you, but wouldn't folks understand the level that we are at in the world today, sir, with the range of technology and everything?
Yes.
I mean, Mr. McPhail is smiling when I'm saying this. But shouldn't folks we should have that gotten to a level where we know these things are the do's and don'ts that we shouldn't be getting into? No. We know that there are multiple cars on the roads, more than we had 30 years ago, if I could go back that far.
Yes.
I would say 10 years ago.
Yeah?
10 years
ago. We know there are more cars. We know the behavioral pattern of individuals. And sometimes you notice it's the same individual you see behaving that way every year.
Yes.
Have you ever paid attention to that?
Yeah.
You understand? And there's a new characters who get drafted into those behaviors now. But should we know that we should not be doing these things that what we are doing, especially when it comes to the way we use our roads and just the overall behavior? Should we hold on to that particular culture still?
Let me just answer helping another way, and by asking a question. Can you imagine a Grenada without police officers?
No, I can't.
No.
Could you imagine our region or world without police officers? And the reason being, good and bad will exist, and so you have to, because it is understood, it is accepted that some people will behave in particular ways unless they are punished for the action or they are reminded that they should behave. And this is against the background we are holding this program, because if we don't do it, things could be different. We've seen the effectiveness of what we do, the information process, the advocacy that we labor with every week. It is paying great dividends. And so because we understand, I was saying to somebody this morning, if you understand who somebody is, you could deal with them. And if you understand what the problem is, it is halfway solved.
Because you will know how to handle it.
You'll know how to handle it. And sometimes we need to be able to let people understand that we understand the problem, we know how to deal with it. And this is why I believe also that the police have increased the information process and the presence in a lot of places, because they know that people will behave in a particular way around a particular time. However, we believe that much more could be done. And I would like to personally see a stronger drive on weekends, driving at the root cause of what's causing the accidents at the sites where things are happening. There should be a complete, and I think there might be a complete mapping of what you call the hotspots, places where things are likely to happen, and increase particular presence and information, maybe boards, maybe through the sound system that's happening. So for instance, let's take, I think, Willis, New Hampshire junction, that used to have a real jab corner between Granton and the area down in that junction. I think they cut some area down to put a blast building somewhere there. I passed there recently. Okay. And they say they're going to have a blast there, those vending machine for gambling and thing. So that place, understanding there that people will converge there regardless of when, so corner by the stones, regardless of what, people will assemble there around Carnival. So here what? Increase the presence maybe of the security elements, maybe which include the police. Encourage the people in the area that are selling to have information, safety awareness things. Put up maybe a billboard or signboard in the area that even when you drink and you can't see too well, but you'll be able to figure out. Somebody might point and say, man, you didn't see the sign saying they don't drink and behave in that. A drunk man tell another drunk man that. It may just help him to be a little bit more conscious. And the presence, for instance, I know that the police have increased or will increase, and they do increase their presence when there's a major event. People are aware of that. And you'll see them in Granditown, you'll see them by Kiplef, you'll see them by Sugar Mill Roundabout, you'll see them in Grandans, Valley, Woodlands area.
The trouble spots you see them being there minimal, you understand?
That's the point we make in GT. That we believe that
minimal in terms of the hotspots.
So you need to increase.
Increase that. So, and when we look at the accidents over the weekends and so on, do law enforcement decrease their presence as well on weekend? And if that is the case, should it not be increased? What you do on a weekday, should it not continue that then, or increase it during the weekend, so that you'll have less of these occurrences? And I believe that is a very scientific study. You don't even need to be scientific.
Yeah, just paying attention to the patterning of how things are flowing.
Yes.
That's what I would say. Especially on weekends, for some reason, we are seeing more accidents occurring, and sometimes the type of accidents, folks who are driving without license, folks who are driving with uninsured vehicles, and so forth.
Yeah. Yes.
Should we have more officers out paying attention to these things now? Because there's a particular pattern in what's going on.
And that's a question with an answer.
You see in the events that are taking place at certain areas, and the hotspots, we hear of incidents occurring. Why not are we having special service units just making their presence felt?
And it doesn't have to be.
You're not coming in to stop the event taking place.
That's a very important point you're making there, because what you find happening sometimes, the police in regular uniform goes to an area
and seem to not get the respect. They don't get the respect.
But when the RRU and the SSU goes, it's a different kettle of fish.
So put the RRU uniform and the camouflage on the regular police?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so. But people seem to respect them more than the regular police.
I mean, all police officers should be respected. They should be respected across the board.
Yes.
I agree for that.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, when we see these things are happening, I think the police presence is more. And our focus is more on the traffic offences that we see occurring.
Yeah.
And there are a number of traffic offences we see happening, especially on the weekends.
Yeah.
And there are specific spots that we see is occurring time and time again. I think more emphasis should be placed on those areas.
Yes.
And if a police presence is there on a constant level, if every Saturday morning you wake up and there's 10 police in this particular area, you will desist of this is something what you do. Whether you want to speed, or you feel you want to do something really in the road, or something of the nature, you will desist of it because there are police presence there.
So I use the word scientific, and I don't use it loosely. I use it intentionally because our approach seems to be too ad hoc.
Yeah.
And we have to also zero in on the psychological and psychosocial effect on people by other people's behavior, by how some people drive, the noise they make with the vehicles that they drive, the way they drive, the way they park, and the things that they do on our roads. And so we also have to go deeper into conducting survey into some places, whether some roads that was one time double access should it continue to be double access or one way. And certain types of vehicles that used to pass on particular roads, should they continue to pass there? Certain heavy duty vehicles and so forth. And do we need to have a greater presence or enforcement of the noise pollution issue? Because, and the reason why I'm saying this, or we don't really look at the intangibles in terms of the effects that can happen to people that we don't see. The older people, the younger people who might be at home, and these vehicles pass in particular areas. As a matter of fact, over the weekend, a gentleman was drawing to my attention. There is this road where Roger does his things up St. Paul's up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a road that goes in there that buses up, that goes on to Montparnasse.
Right.
And the gentleman was saying to me that road was designed, it was a little trackway one time, and then they expanded on that. And it used to be like a few vehicles going through there. And he said, over the period, the road has deteriorated. They repaired the road, and big trucks and everything keep going through there.
I didn't realize the big trucks. Yes, I use that road often.
I do, and they use their horns and so on, and the kind of and the complaints that the people, the tranquility that people enjoyed one time, and the safety that they had one time,
gone.
It's gone, but not just gone. But when you're getting there for roads that were designed in a particular way, where it was one way, and now you have bigger vehicles coming, and they're coming both ways.
Yes.
When you get into that clash, what happened? Like you did sometime, or some people do at other times, where you have to stop, give way, reverse. Some people don't reverse very well, and then they start holding at you the obscene language, and then they stir you up, and you're in your house, and then you get so angry about the person passing. At that time, you're retired. You want to get some nice peace, and this man blowing the horn. No, but I think all of these things, we need to take them in a little bit deeper and put the strategies to curb them. And around this time of the year, we are not peak. We're just going up that mountain where we peak into the full carnival activities. We want to see some more effort driven into that. Our statistics is indicating that we have twice the amount of accidents occurring on weekends and sometimes on public holidays than we have happened during the course of the week. Gentlemen,
we drew for a break. Let's take a we come back. We invite our listeners and viewers to chime in with us.
Absolutely,
the
sir.
phones are going. We have messages via the WhatsApp. When we come back, we certainly will entertain them. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. We'll touch it out.
GBN presents Spice Up the Esplanade Mall Courtyard Soca Mona. 3 exciting Wednesdays of electrifying soca action. It kicks off with the quarterfinal Wednesday, July the 22nd from 3 to 7:30 p.m. The semifinals Wednesday, July the 29th from 3 to 7:30 p.m. The grand finals on Wednesday, August the 5th from 4 to 8 p.m. where champions are born and legends rise. Powered by Flow, Huggins, Answer Coatings, Glen Natural Spring Water, Grenada Distillers, Tropical Catering Services, Ride Girl, Sandals Grenada, Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, National Lotteries Authority, Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, and SP's International Trading, with support from Spice Mass Corporation, Grenada Film Company, and Jambalassi Grenada. 3 Wednesdays, 1 stage, 1 vibes. Don't miss GBN Spice Up the Esplanade Mall Courtyard Soca Mona.
You've arrived in paradise. You felt the rhythm. Now let's make sure you say it right.
My name is Florian. I'm from the beautiful Aida Perla cruise ship. So today, like we Germans say, we are in Grenada. But I heard in English it's called Grenada.
Say it right. Grenada.
Say it right.
Grenada.
That's right. Grenada. There we go. Say it right. It's Grenada. It's not Grenada. It's Grenada. Say it
Come experience the spirit, strength, and beauty of Carriacou. Join us for the Carriacou Regatta Festival 2026, happening July 31st to August 2nd. Feel the excitement of thrilling boat races across our crystal clear water. Enjoy vibrant onshore activity, music, food, and pure vibe. This is more than a festival. It's resilience, culture, and unforgettable memories, all in one place. So gather your crew, bring your energy, and come sail into the celebration. Carriacou Regatta Festival 2026, anchored in tradition, sailing to tomorrow, to tomorrow, to tomorrow, to tomorrow.
Parents, do you go to bed with the knowledge that your children are comfortably asleep in the next room? Or are they allowed to attend every fete advertised? You are responsible for the safety and well-being of your children, and it is your responsibility to know their whereabouts. Children should not be at adult events. Please guide your children, engage them in age-appropriate activities. Let us be spicy parents for this carnival season and beyond. S. Speak to your children about positive behavior. P. Pay attention to them at all times. I. Inspire good behavior in your children by also displaying good behavior. C. Check with your children. Always know their whereabouts. Y. You are responsible for your children. Maintain control to keep them safe. This is a message from the National Parenting Program, Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. We into the, of course, final moments of today's edition of To The Point, which we allow our listeners and viewers to chime in on the conversation this morning. Absolutely. And, of course, let's hear your views and some concerns you may have also. Feel free to share that. We do have our first caller via the WhatsApp. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Well, good morning, GT.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I don't know if you're hearing me quite clearly.
Yes, we're hearing you. Okay, go right ahead, please.
Okay. Concerning this situation, Mr. McIntyre has pointed out a lot of ills, sad things, and you're looking, and we can really associate that with the jab culture that is being pushed. I am wondering if the politicians know what they're really doing by pushing the jab culture. They kind of they were covering it up and saying that represent Africans and emancipation and so on. Well, they hardly saying that no, because they realize they're going the wrong way with that, because there is a video done by the person speaking sound like an African person, and they're showing you the jab. They use a jab to represent the devil, and the devil went into a man, and the man tried to kill his sister. That video is going around, right? I don't know if it's a point they're trying to make, because African people are now paying attention to us, right? I am saying, when this jab, modern day jab, was launched by what is still on record as the strongest opposition movement, Maurice Bishop and them, they launched that jab against Gary, and jab became that kind of, it came out with that rebellious spirit. No, it came down through the years like that. But do we want to continue? We're seeing what is happening. Young people running through van and stabbing up people, even though people watching in broad daylight. Do we want to really continue with that jab spirit in pure Grenada? I'm going back to listen now. Okay.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. I want to respond.
Yeah, and while we appreciate the contributions, which are very useful, we would also want an indication as to how that impinges on the safety factors, and in particular some of the road issues. Like the caller just mentioned the violence actions of young people stabbing each other and so forth. And yes, those are the kind of angles. How what is happening around this time could have an impact negatively on road safety and otherwise.
But I do have a message. You want something?
I was just about to say we also would welcome recommendations.
Yes.
There's a comment here from someone via the WhatsApp. They're saying they wish to express their growing concern about the reckless driving permitted by some drivers operating the large SL trucks on our nation's roads. It has become increasingly common to see these trucks traveling one behind the other at high speeds, often appearing to race each other. Such behavior is extremely dangerous and places the lives of other motorists, pedestrians, passengers at unnecessary risk. Equally concerning is the increased number of makeshift bars and roadside stalls being erected along the roads. The establishments often attract vehicles to stop or park hazardously, resulting in traffic congestion and creating additional hazard to road users. Another issue is of course, deserve urgent attention is the blatant disregard for no parking zone. Vehicles continue to park in restricted areas, obstructing the free flow of traffic and compromising road safety. While apparently the Royal Grenada Police Force, I would more referring to the traffic department, I will assume, may be operating with limited manpower, I respectfully urge the police to be even more vigilant in enforcing the traffic laws. Greater visibility and consistent enforcement will go a long way in deterring the unsafe practices and ensuring that other of course, our roads are safer for everyone. Road safety is a shared responsibility, and all road users must do their part to protect lives. That's a contribution there from someone via the WhatsApp. And it goes along the direction in terms of our conversation.
Absolutely.
It goes along that.
It's an essay that identifies the issues with recommendations, which is excellent.
We do have another caller. Caller, live. I thank you for your precious. Good morning.
Morning, GT. beauty, and morning to your esteemed guests.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
I think we need to start from the position that taking responsibility. This issue is very complex, because it needs to be addressed from different angles, and your program and the amount of time doesn't provide for that. But we could agree on a few things. One is that something has happened over the years, and I want to situate that with the invasion. And if you listen to what the program with Innocent this morning, with those people who were speaking, and we are honest, we can see the continuation of the disorientation of the Afro people. I mean, here. Rather than have them heal and restore themselves, it's to keep them disoriented. So certain agents among us have cooperated with those who clear intent is to keep us divided, to keep us confused, to keep us asleep. So, for instance, where did we arrive at having jab every day of the year? Almost every day of the year, or having, jump and wave stuff. Every little thing is a cook up here and a cook up there. And we have to go back and examine that. So there is that, and Mr. McIntyre, don't afraid to say, we are lawless people. We're lawless. And we have to accept that, because if we get a chance, we do anything once we think nobody would catch us. We have to help people to develop a mind that they will do what is right, that they will self-manage. We don't have self-managed people in Grenada. We have people who need to be ruled and managed by others outside of themselves. And that's the problem. It starts with the school, it starts with the home, with the school, the lack of community and all of that. So we need to go there. But please, we need to, thanks to Mr.
We strapped for time, please. So
I will finish. Thanks to Mr. James Clarkson, who tried to put a seal on what used to be roadshow. All these things have helped to destabilize our society, roadshow that destroyed the Calypso tent and so on. We need to go back to having some sort of thing that would help to unite us rather than divide us. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. We take a final caller and we wrap.
Yes,
we take a final caller. Caller via WhatsApp, you're live. Good morning, welcome. You'll be a final caller, and I beg of you to be brief, please.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Yeah, I want to ask the officers there, the officer especially, ex-officer, is there a mannerism in driving? Because what I observe, that some drivers sit driving like if they're in the living room. Like, they sit and watching the television. It's like they don't have no mannerism in driving. So getting away from accidents and stuff will be a problem. With the jab and the culture, remember, we don't take away too much of the culture. We have to be more disciplined, but careful that we just put too much order and just take away the culture of the people. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your caller. That was a real final caller for the morning. Gentlemen, respond to the final caller if you would like to. If anything but the previous, and then we take a wrap.
Yeah, not necessarily a response to the caller in terms of mannerism, but it is something, I don't think it is enshrined in the highway code in that sense, mannerism, but it speaks of you being alert and in a position to be in control of the vehicle at you. And if some people, you lie down and sit in a certain way.
I saw somebody
and
that has sort of gone out of style.
And you've gone to some vehicles and they sit way back down and they lie down and their hand barely touching the steering. So it's something that will negatively impact on road safety. So as we go deeper into the carnival season, we urge people, and as we have more events happening on weekends, to be extra cautious. If you don't have to be in certain places, please don't come out. And if you have to, your members of your family have to go somewhere, advise them to be cautious and to be alert as to those who are not so concerned or conscious of the negative consequences of their actions.
All right.
So we advise everyone to just practice safety in general.
All right. And I have a final comment from someone. Maybe we may not be able to address it today, but someone is saying, please quickly walk through the process when a road accidents occur. But there's no fatalities because a recent accident happened and an officer came on the scene. Those involved were hurt, maybe not broken bones but hurt. And the officer, of course, was saying that this is not his job, it's traffic department, and that has to handle that, and he's doing them a favor by dropping them off at the hospital because that's not his job.
Yeah. So there are two angles to that, but every officer is taught life over offense.
Yeah.
So whenever there's some aspect that could affect life negatively, otherwise, people can, their injuries could become more so it's fatal. Their attention must first be to the aspect of the persons involved.
All right. So I guess that covers it. Gentlemen, that's what we're going to have to take a wrap for today. Thanks as usual for being here and sharing the information. We do this again when another time permits.
Yes.
Sylvan, have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Right. Hey, folks, that's how we wrap today's edition of To The Point. All who contributed, I want to thank you. That's where we say goodbye.